Hello, my friends. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to share today a flip through of my 2025 Junk Journal January. I used this entire journal and I'm excited to share it with you. So let's get started. On the first day, the prompt was cover. So I went ahead and I added a few things to the cover. Of course, I put Junk Journal January, I put my name and 2025. I added this and I added these cute little owls, and that's really all I had to do because the cover was already beautiful. So that was short, sweet, and simple. Now we've got a couple of different areas to go through in here, and I guess I'll start right here in the front so that I don't miss anything. Day 3 was tickets, so I just did a super simple, took a ticket, I aged it. I did these on my lives. I did this whole thing on my lives. Aged the ticket, I cut out this saying, it says dear friend, and I added some ink to that and added this wooden butterfly and glued it on, and that was it. That was really short and simple too. Now we're going to get into this part of it. Now the days won't be in order in this section, just so you know. Day 5 was depth. So we used some techniques with sandpaper and coffee and ink, and tried to create depth using this little girl up in the front and then her behind her, and then these people on the beach even further back, and then way in the background are these cabins in the mountains. And that was just a fun thing to do. Now this, we jump all the way up to January 23rd. It was newspaper, but I got this out of a vintage advertisement, so it wasn't technically a newspaper, but it looked close enough, and I thought that was fine. And it's an advertisement for socks. So I had these hearts. I wanted to go with a Valentine theme on the Friday that I did these. I tried to keep all of them in Valentine theme, and you'll see that as we get later into this journal. But so that's where the hearts are coming from, because I was really wanting to do some Valentine crafting, but also wanting to do my Junk Journal January. Added some lace down here. Now this one was day 24, and this was line. So I used these papers, well, this paper under here that has lines on it. The heart also has lines on the paper. And then we have lines on our poem here, which says, thank you for standing behind me in all that I do. I hope you're as happy with me as I am with you. And of course, this beautiful couple, I thought that was nice. This one was day 25, and it was modern, and is this modern? That's out for debate. But I had a fun time, and me and my friends on the live had a fun time making it, and my friend Penny said, well, the colors of the macarons are modern. So I said, okay, we got it. It was fun to make regardless whether it's modern or not. Then this was day 19, and the prompt was bubble. And I was looking for sort of like bubble bath bubbles, but I found a speech bubble. And so that's what I used. This magazine was from 1954. This lady, she says, my new Hubble chest is wonderful. Now I never waste time hunting for bills, records, or letters. And so she's got a chest to help keep her organized. And then this was day 26, and the prompt was movement. And you can see this lady, she is, actually the floor goes this way. So do you see, whoops, let me see, that's not very straightforward. So the floor goes like that. So she's definitely doing movement there. And then this lady's on some roller skates. And then this one is on skis in the ocean. So a lot of movement going on in this collage. So this one was day 4. And it was outlined. So I took this fantastic image of this woman from a magazine, and I outlined her with marker and also these flat back gems. And this is one of my favorite pages in this entire journal. And it says, live in the moment. And then when we flip over here, the day 2, this is day 2, was envelope. So you can see I added an envelope that flips open, and we'll get to that in a second. And I wonder, I think I just put the trim on for just decor. I don't think it was for any particular prompt or anything. But it might be, I don't know. When we opened it up, we have day 18, and the prompt was bright. So I took this wonderful mixed media piece that's super bright, and I added a picture of myself, my husband, and my son, and with this beautiful painting that's got some very bright colors in it when we went to visit downtown Clearwater, and there's a park down there, and it has some art like this there. So that was just a very simple piece to pop inside the envelope. This is day 6, and it was embossed, so I actually had just recently created this paper with the modeling paste which embosses it, and then I had embossed these clocks on here with ink and an embossing pad, so that was a lot of fun. And then these vintage birds, the flowers are actually embossed. So this was a really fun page to create. I super enjoyed that. Next, we have day 7, which was tuck spot. And so I created this beautiful tuck spot using some of this mixed media page and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then this was day 29, which was reveal. So what I did is I took a tag, I added a brad? No. I forget what that's called. Anyway, I added that. And you know, it's one of these things that goes through. Is it a brad? That might be a brad. Anyway, so reveal, so we go like this and we reveal some macarons and a cookbook. So that was my reveal. I thought that was cute. And it was very simple. It wasn't easy, or it wasn't difficult at all. This, I don't see the day. I know I wrote it on here. Well, I think I wrote it on here, but I don't see it. But this was one of the early days in Junk Journal January, and it was probably day 8, would be my guess, because this is day 9, and day 9 was hidden. Okay, my apologies. Day 9 was hidden, that's true, but the pocket, on that day we created this pocket, so we have a hidden pocket in here. This is day 10, and it's trimmed. So I took some seam binding and I made a ruffle. And again, this is all on my lives if you want to see how I did that with my hot glue. And then just did a nice collage using all kinds of fun papers and fabric and all kinds of good stuff. So that was a lot of fun. This page is, I have room here to put more on it if I want to. This is day 22. And the prompt is repeat. So we have some repeating patterns here, and then it also repeats on this side. And then I wanted to, this later in the month, like this around the 22nd, is when I wanted to start to do the Valentine crafting. So I did a whole live on January 24th where I was doing Junk Journal January, but I was trying to keep it in a Valentine theme. So if you were curious and you wanted to check that out, you sure could do that. This is day 11, and it was magazine, so I got this beautiful image out of a magazine, and then the bird, I think the bird maybe came from, it was either a sticker or I cut it out from a calendar. It looks like I cut it, but I think it was a sticker, quite actually, and I drew his branch, there's a branch, and I drew that on there, so he didn't look like he was standing on nothing. This is day 12, and this was overlap, and I loved making this page. My friends came on live, and we did this together, and you know, they suggested so many parts of it, and it was just a lot of fun. So the prompt was overlap for day 12. So you can see that we started with a magazine page, but then we overlapped that with lace, and then this tulle, and this mixed media piece, and this flower, and a feather over her eyes, and that was just really cool to put together. This is opaque, day 13. So I wanted this to be a little bit more opaque than it turned out to be, but I really enjoyed playing with the process of it. We started with a book page, and then I added this magazine image, and then I put like this faux film strip over it, and then we etched it up with our sandpaper to start to create that opaqueness, and then I went over it with pink ink just to, you know, add more to it so it wasn't a crystal clear image. You can't see through the film strip perfectly except for her face. I left her face exposed so that you could see that, but the rest of it's more hazy, right? And that was really fun to play with and experiment with. Day 14 is balance, and so I used book page and then this crumpled paper that we prior to doing the page, I had taken some magazine paper. I learned this in a class that I took, and we crumpled it up with olive oil, and then it just turns into this really interesting feeling. And so I ended up gluing that on, and then put a picture of myself here with this mannequin, and I'm posing like her. And so there's two of us, so that creates some of our balance. And I made sure to do 2 buttons for that balance, and then the paper, and then the other paper, everything getting smaller as it goes in, which creates some balance. Day 15 was neutral, and this was really a lot of fun to put together. I had some pretty background pieces and book page, and then I used some vellum and some stickers, and I love the way it came out. Super pretty, lots of cool layers, and that was a very enjoyable process. Let's see, what day is this? Day 16 was unfold. So basically what I did is I just decorated this, a little bit of a Valentine feel here. There's a picture of my husband and I right here. And this unfolds. So that handled the prompt for that. Now this was day 20, and this was a lot of fun. This was in my Valentine feels, so I could make sure I get enough Valentine crafting in. And so it was just a nice big spread. We used some trim. The words I had to cut because they were too big and they would have gotten into the fold. I didn't want that to happen. The prompt for day 20 was tissue, and so under here, all of this is tissue paper that I had received in a mail. That was a lot of fun. These are stickers, and then this was paper and paper here. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And then right here we have day 17, and the prompt was fragile. And of course, nature is fragile, and these little ducks could be, but honestly, the most fragile thing are these eggs, and that's really what inspired me to create this page. And this lady, I don't know her, this all came out of a magazine, but she creates this nice stuff that these ducks can lay their eggs in. And then we used trim on here, which makes it look cute. When we turn the page, we have day 21 of January, and the prompt was map. And so we already had this background paper down, which I thought was super pretty. And then I added this torn map to it. And then I added some torn pieces of Valentine scrapbook paper. I think it all works really, really well together. I'm in love with it, actually. I added a quote and then this beautiful red Amazon parrot. No. This is a macaw. This is not an Amazon. This is a macaw. And the quote says, "Once you choose hope, anything is possible." And I just love that page. I think it's so, so pretty. Then when we come over here, we pull this out, and this was day 30, and it was fabric. So I had this tag on paper that I had sewn this lacy fabric to, and then just added this little piece of paper that moves around with is this a brad? I think it's a brad. Yes, because the other thing I confuse it with all the time is a grommet. So yes, this is indeed a brad. So that goes in these pockets here. And then this right here is day 31, and it was letter. So I had these embossed letters, and so I colored red around them, and here too. So this was V for Valentine's Day, and I actually, underneath that is actually a sticker, and then the pockets were part of the page. And then this is XO for, XOXO. And that's day 31. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this little adventure of Junk Journal January with me. I really enjoyed doing it. I really enjoyed doing it live, actually. It was a lot of fun. I clustered the days together, so I was doing like a week at a time. The very end ones I did on my own time. I did not do the very last days live, but the majority of this book I did. So I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you spending some time here with me. Thanks for watching. See you soon.